Now, when you say, you said your sweet spot, 2 million to 25 million, in terms of our audience with Board My Biz and what we're seeing so far, it certainly falls up to 2 million in a category from startup up to 2 million. So I'm wondering, right around that 1 million, 2 million mark, what sort of typical problems or issues or what are you seeing at that level that you can really help with as an advisor? Let's say, what sort of things are you seeing?
In a lot of companies, I mean, there are various threshold levels in different businesses, and the way they're run or the market or whatever, they're at different levels. But oftentimes, $1 million is a big threshold, and when a company hits $1 million, it's a great big deal and the like. But what happens is oftentimes they hit $1 million, make money, maybe lose money, and then the following year they're bumping around the same number again. Yeah. And the third year they're still kind of in the same park and can't figure out why. Well, it's because what got them to $1 million ain't going to get them to $5 million. They now have to. They've got to kind of change the paradigm a little bit, and it may mean a wingspan issue that they're doing too much and need to now bring a stronger set of some functional guys who can work with them. This is what an advisory board can show them. They can ask the hard questions of things that the entrepreneur is facing at that particular moment. Sometimes it's a major decision regarding product, where we know we have to upgrade our product. Don't know how we're going to be able to do that without additional financing, and then it's guidance on how to go get financing, or should they go get it, or find a partner, or some such. So there are major decisions that entrepreneurs face all the way up the evolutionary curve to their exit, for that matter. But right. in the early stages, some of them are life-threatening. I advised a company several years ago where they had gotten to like $1.5 million on a product where they were almost the only player in the market, and like within 90 days, a competitor came with a product that wasn't quite as good, but they had such great marketing resources that they scared them first, and second, they were buying market share. And this was like they start seeing losing business and the like, and this is where we as a board advise them or put a strategy together for how to better niche themselves and to not face off against these guys. And then when they're facing off, how to deal with them without trying to play the price game. Right. Just an example.
Okay. Good. Yeah. I heard you mention funding in there. Obviously, it's kind of it's always the story. There's always a small business, we're short on funding. Cash flow is always an issue. That's pretty much a given. Do you find with the advisory board is in a lot of cases, are you helping them to structure their business plan, their marketing plan properly so that they can actually go out and get that funding that they need and then put into good use? Is that a big part of it, or is it more on the operational level?
No, it's both. It's both.
Yeah.
And see, that's why you try to get an advisory board that has as broad a set of functional strengths as you can. I spent 7 years in investment banking, so I raised money, and I've certainly raised money for my companies and for other companies that I was a part of, and the like. So you get through experience, what works in the marketplace in order to raise money. Right. And so that's where the advice. Plus, when you've raised money, you also have the contacts. You have people that you can introduce them to and the like that becomes invaluable because, small companies they have no clue how to do it. And there are a lot of guys out there that pretend to raise money and all they're doing is collecting fees. And, that's just, so an advisory board can help guide them in that respect. And the raising money isn't always going to an institutional investor. It could very well be helping them to structure or introduce them to a bank. Or it could help them. See, I'm big on partnerships. I think that that's one of the things small businessmen really miss out on. Partnerships can help you get to the next level so dramatically by if you partner with somebody who's got resources that you don't have, technology resources where they could potentially join a product development with you, or marketing or sales resources where they can extend your reach. Those are the kinds of things that partnership does. And that's another thing that you do. And that's part of funding, actually, because what it does is, what funding is getting money to buy resources. Well, if somebody's already got resources, that's another way to attack the problem.
Right. Now, just going back a second here, you mentioned asking the hard questions, I guess at whatever point it may be as an advisor. Certainly, CEO or the owner of the company is probably used to plenty of lip service, at least at the operational level, from a lot of their employees. I guess from the advisor level, candor is a pretty critical element in there. Yeah. Would you say that's correct?
I would say that a couple of things that are important. To be effective, an advisory board has to have the respect of the owner, CEO, and there's got to be a chemistry. And if those two things are there, then the owner will hear and act on the right stuff. Because oftentimes, when you're out there on a point by yourself, having been on the other side of the table, you don't want to hear from anybody else. They don't know what you're going through. And but if there are guys who have been in the trenches and guys who you respect, you listen because they'll give you another perspective.